Oh my God, it is the 8 o'clock witching hour. Good evening, it's Visual Radio Live. I'm your host, Joe Villone, live here at WinCam, and the views and opinions on Visual Radio Live are those of the host and his guests, and not necessarily those of the WinCam Board of Directors, staff, members, people of Winchester, planet Earth, the universe. They're our thoughts, and like Patti Smith, her sins, they belong to her, right? Right. Now, I must say, Mr.Curt was one of my first guests in 1979. In the Paleolithic era of public access, way before there was public access, we were on TV. Mm-hmm. I have a footage of Pastiche survived, at least one or two songs.
It was great. I mean, nothing was around then. I mean, they were inventing the new medium, right?
Yeah. And it was kind of fun that, once a month, TVI would happen in Somerville at the old Davis Square, which is such a happening place now. It is, right? Davis Square is happening. But pre all this great stuff going on in Davis Square, pre-Subway, there was our little show. Now, you had the show with Jim Clements in Arlington called Exploding Envelope. Mm-hmm. Did you replay the stuff from TVI of Pastiche, or was it the maps?
We did maps. And we did. I never really showcased Pastiche on it, right? It was just, Jim stuff. We did that. It was a great show. I mean, I got to host. Jim was the director. This is when he worked there full time.
Oh, so he didn't co-host with you?
No.
Okay,
I did it myself. It was my show, and it was just the same thing as I'm doing now with my friend Tim and Glenn with Transmission Hour, which is a Boston cable music entertainment show. And that was just to showcase local artists, because one hand helps the other, right?
So Transmission, and when's that on?
It's on every Sunday night on Channel 23 in Boston only. It's called Transmission Hour, and it's produced by Low Budget Productions, which is the label that Clara and I are on. And we just like doing it, and we're a good team, and I'm sure as you do here with you and your friends, you just passing the torch along.
We have fun. I love
fun.
Every Thursday night.
Fun. We don't have fun. We do work. We work hard. And
we have fun here.
We don't have fun. He has fun.
But we're on 23, 24 stations, including BNN, so they'll have to watch you on Visual Radio on BNN as well.
Wow. I like it.
Yeah. So
it's like this.
It's just the public access is the new underground. And you were invited before the show began to be on Music Closet, which is this great show that WinCam's been doing for years with our director, Jeff Dearman.
Yeah, we just got offered to be on the show.
Oh,
we perform right here.
Okay. I find out about these things.
I just found out about
just
it
now.
20 years ago.
So perfect.
But thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. It's his thing.
Thank you, Jeff.
And he can take some of this footage and put it in with so he'll have an interview with the music.
Okay.
There you go.
Great.
And we get recycled.
All right. And do you stream as well? Do you stream online?
We're streaming live right now.
Oh,
Hi,
my
people.
goodness.
There's people all across America and the world watching us, all 5 of them.
I don't know what streaming is, so there.
But I have a question for Curt now. Marty White, my friend Marty.
And he says hello to you.
I'm
he
sure
won
he
a
does.
big hello to his friend, the Count.
And a big hello to Marty White. So Marty was in third rail. Were you ever in third rail with Marty White?
Well, yes.
Well, because we're different third rails. I mean, Richard and myself had like 400 musicians each in our band. I'm not kidding you.
Perfect.
No, I'm not kidding you. I had about 400 musicians. Richard Nolan had 400 musicians. If you sit down with Richard and I and we try to log all the musicians, it'd be funny to see how many we all went through.
So it's like polyphonic spree, but redux.
So I don't know if you and Marty were in the same third rail.
Well, we were when Richard decided he wanted to have a 30th anniversary reunion tour, showcase, and everything else. That's when I met Marty.
See, so you weren't in a regular third rail together. You were in a reunion.
No, it was just a reunion, right?
That's special.
Well, it was. It was great to work with Mike Mad Dog Powers and David Birmingham.
So you got a real cross-section.
Oh, yeah, and Gary Soprano. So it was great. It was from the earlier version to the later, middle version, which was me, and later version, which was David and Mike and those guys. And Marty was brought along as the bass player. And then when that sort of, the tour ended and we did all the gigs and everything else like that, I asked Marty if he wanted to do some work with me. And we've been together like 6, 7, 8 years now. So I'm very, very happy. I met him. And then along the way, we met the darling one here.
Wow.
Yep.
6, 7 years. So it's interesting because Gary Soprano was in my band, of course, and I met him through Third Rail. So you have these baseball trading cards of musicians, which is our community, kind of like fun because everyone's still having fun. And now we're all on Facebook. If I need to talk to Gary Soprano, he's not. But
on Facebook.
Okay.
send Gary Soprano a Facebook hi, you know. But that's basically how we see each other. We bump into each other at a show, which I never go to anymore, and you people are always performing. What was the last couple of gigs you did?
Us or
Yeah,
her?
MC3, MC4.
Harvest, you did.
Yes,
Harvest.
we did the Harvest Cafe in Hudson, and
I didn't know there was a Harvest Cafe in Hudson.
there is. It's a nice little room, a very nice little room run by some wonderful people, and it's
Non-alcoholic?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a restaurant and a lounge.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll service both your culinary needs and your libation
Whatever.
period,
Yes.
right? And it was great, and
I have to think back in time now.
yeah.
We've been
No.
working a lot on the recording at this point and getting
Yeah, that
everything
happens.
complete. Yeah, funny thing about that. So
Yeah,
now we have this album here, and that's been a lot of effort. I think the first half of the year, I think. I feel like a lot of our time was spent being in studio. Again, finishing and polishing and getting things together for
Right.
this. So and then there's gonna be a lot of shows coming up this summer and then going into the fall as well. We have the CD release happening on August
August 3rd
3rd.
in Dedham,
Yep.
the Paradise Cafe,
Which is a beautiful room, which I strongly encourage everyone out there to
to go to Dedham.
Absolutely.
Leave the confines of Winchester
Now-
And,
to go to Dedham.
Track 5 is I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, and track 12 on the Monkees, which is a low-budget barrel of Monkees.
Right,
is Stepping
that
Stone.
came out just before our album did, so it's back-to-back hit albums.
But is it the, this is 425 on this, and it's 524 on here?
it's the extended mix.
That was so you did an extended mix.
Absolutely.
It's different from the album.
It's different
That's
from the
always my
album.
question.
Yes.
Yep.
Different product. So
So is it different take?
No, it's just in the arrangement, how we cut it up, edited it, and did it that way. It's more extended. Clara sings a lot more on the Monkees album,
Ah,
and she does a scat and things like that. On this one, we just trimmed that away and just
more concise.
right.
So again, if you're
It's a version.
really into the Monkees, this satisfies that component.
Do you like the
This is more-
Monkees? Do you
well,
like
of
the
course,
Monkees?
everyone loves the Monkees. I mean, the Monkees are very collectible.
Do you know they're coming here,
I was going to say very soon.
July
right?
16th? They'll be here next week at the Wang Center
The Wang Center. You know, it's strange.
with Mike
Kurt.
Nesmith.
I should probably try to go. I don't go to shows much anymore. If they're the open concerts, I like going. I get fidgety in clubs. Having done it all these years, I'm really appreciative of what you do, because that you can get out in the clubs. I just can't do it anymore.
Why?
I've evolved into doing this and writing, and I'm happy. So when you're happy, you do. You know, it's less stress.
If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet.
Well, I am happy. So,
Clap your
this,
hands.
but this is what I do.
Yay, Joe!
So,
Hey,
you know,
Joe.
I'm happy doing this, and the club thing, I did it, and it was fun.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you guys and John Macy, and if he's still out playing, you know,
Absolutely.
He's still out
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
We know that for sure.
I played on his last album, so
it's a nice record. Everyone's like fine wine, you know. Everyone's doing great. Charlie Farron's new record is just really, really good. You know, and he was in a different part of the scene than us. But now it's all kind of one big scene with us veterans. You know, Charlie's part of.
Have you seen FBI?
Of course, I've taped them.
Oh, okay, great. They're pretty good.
Well, actually, I taped Butcher, Ferran, just as a duo at the Tupelo, not the Tupelo, out there at T-Can. They were opening for
Natick Center of the Arts.
They
right.
opened for Vanilla Fudge. Charlie's an old friend, and I said, you know, Jay LaFawn, my director from Haverhill, I said, Jay and I'll tape you. He said, sure. So his wife was taping too, so we gave him all the footage, and he's edited it. So it's FBI, I mean, Butcher and Ferran, fine wine. Everyone's gotten better at what they do.
I mean, don't you love seeing that? I mean, we're from a generation. I mean, for me, there's a big thrill in working with Clara, who's in the next generation down, and she's got her whole litany of friends and
Right.
ideas and stuff like that. So I love it. I mean, like I say, pass the torch on, and if other people there to grab it with you and to be provocative and present, really fine music, let's go all the way, right?
You know Girl on Top.
Sure, Karen.
Now, Karen DiBiase, we were talking about this. She's kind of like after the new wave, the bridge between you and us is Karen, who's like in the middle, after the new wave, but part of the other scene.
It's funny because my first band, the Jumblies, we did shows. I remember, I think it was one of the last shows at the Abbey. I remember playing with them, with Girl on Top, actually.
Now, she's got Peter Zico, an old friend of mine, who was in Cube, and John Fannin of New England produced him. And John Fannin produced the Ozzy Osbourne track on here. So they covered Ozzy, and Karen's singing Ozzy with John Fannin of New England producing. It's really good. Fannin's new album is unbelievable. It's my #1 record on my blog. John Fannin has this great, great new album out. I mean, if it came out in the New England days, there would have been more hits for him.
Right, I don't think Clara knows who New England was.
Don't Ever Want to Lose You. They had a top 40 hit in the 80s.
Right.
Okay.
They were managed by the KISS organization, or Coin.
Right. I mean, when the Cars got signed in the late 70s, I mean, there was a lot of re-interest in Boston bands and stuff like that.
Okay.
The Rings, John Butcher got signed, a lot of people got signed. Fahrenheit, Charlie Farron's earlier band. And, it was a streak of good luck for Boston artists.
Berlin Airlift, Dee Dee Stewart. There were a lot of good records coming out. And here we are today.
Just as you were being born.
So,
see, when you said KISS, I'm thinking Keep It Simple, Stupid. So that's why I'm not
band
thinking that
KISS?
was... Okay, that was a different one, but yes.
now Geronimo reminds me of, like I said in my review, Roger McGuinn, Chestnut Mare. Geronimo, but it's got kind of a cool, new, refreshing country rock, new age kind of. It's nice. It works.
It works. It works.
Great.
I'm glad you enjoyed the album so much. It was a lot of fun to make, for sure.
You've got creative people here. How do you pick the songs? Do you all throw them, or you're all playing them live and you say, okay, we're going to do this on the album?
I think that my take on it was that we sort of were working together on different material over, I mean, this has been 6 or 7 years now at this point.
Right.
It's something where the material itself sort of evolved, or in the case of Geronimo, just I think coming in and saying, okay, I have this, I woke up one morning and wrote this, and the lyrics here, and I'd like to flesh this out, and then working together to create the music that would accompany the lyrics.
The last album we did was in 2009, and it's called Leaving the Farm. And that's when Clara and Marty and our former drummer Mike, we recorded it as a group and put it out in that sort of as an initiation for this current group. And then when we went to start the new album, we had a bunch of material. Clara, it went from being the Mr.Curt ensemble to a group identity, mainly because I was so proud of Clara for writing a bunch of material, which a lot of the tunes on this album are hers. And Geronimo we co-wrote, so that makes me excited because I love collaboration with anyone, and it just evolved, right?
Oh no, I was going to say, and if you pull the fold out for the lyric sheet that's there.
I did. It's in my car somewhere.
Perfect. So then again, you can see that in addition to just the lyrics and the credits and such like that, you can see also sort of the visual evolution of things. I think those are pictures from last 6 years.
When Clara had long hair.
Much longer hair.
Long hair, then short hair,
Yeah.
long hair. My hair's looked like this for the past 40 years, so.
I can attest to that. You can see the original tapes from 1979, and he has not changed. He used to spray it silver.
Well, get up, Scout. What a spray it silver. Get up, Scout. Giddy up, Scout.
What does a half bubble off plum mean?
Well, it's as you can see, I think that's with the carpentry component, right? That it's again keeping things
Right.
level.
It was a phrase I heard. It's, 1 page short of a book or any sort of thing that's just, you're a little bit off. Something that's a little bit askew. What's one of those sayings? You're 1 page short of a book, or...
Which is just about every public access host in America.
Okay, well, there you go. Then you would understand the idea of working with imperfection. So, I mean, the idea that there's a little bit imperfection in everything we do, because nothing and nobody's perfect,
I don't know. I think you and I are perfect public access hosts, which probably makes us a
That's
half a bubble off a
true.
plum.
That's
we are
true.
perfect in our imperfection because that's our perfection.
Or
I mean,
charm. How about that? Our charm.
Now, it was recorded by Tim Casey at the Kontiki Lounge in Roslindale, December and July, and then recorded by Bill Mason. So is Bill Bird Mancini?
Yes, he is.
See that? The Bluesheimers. I'm kicking it out tonight, the Bluesheimers.
And they just put out a great album. Bird Mancini put out a great album called Lounge. You should have them on this show.
Oh, invite them, please. And
I
does
will.
they have Last Train to Clarksville on it?
Oh, he does a
Lounge?
great version, right.
Is it
It's
on
not,
Lounge
no,
as
it's
well?
not on Lounge, no. It's
just
not.
on here.
Right.
The Barrel. This Barrel Full of Monkeys was a Monkey album. That was the Monkeys' greatest hits. So a low-budget Barrel of Monkeys.
Well, let me just back up a quick second. I have a new project in mind. Oh, what are you going to do? The last album we did as a project, all of us on the label, was the Beatles album, Across Their Universe. And Clara did Blue Jay Way. We also did...
Wonderful song.
We did Not a Second Time. And it was when I was reformed with Pastiche, we did Long, Long, Long. So we were very involved in, working with the label to try a new project. Tim said, let's do the Monkees. And I'm like, oh, I have a great Monkees song. And Clara said, we're already doing one. And we were already doing Not a Stepping Stone. So we were like the first ones ready with the song, where a lot of the other people on the album had to create the song to do for the project. Right, so...
Back in the day, Mickey O'Halloran had the, what was
Boston
the label?
Does the Beatles.
And Boston Does the Stones.
On Fast Track Records.
And when he passed away, there was the Boston Does Aerosmith, Get a Grip, in the vault. So they finally put it out. And it came out, it was just it didn't have Mickey, as the motivator, but they wanted to get it out. And so there were 3 compilations at Mickey's.
Didn't he do Motown also?
BoTown Does Motown. Boy, what a memory.
You'd never really know that.
BoTown Records. I was trying to think of the record label.
Fast Track Records.
And then I think he changed it to BoTown when he separated from his partner. So Fast Track turned into BoTown. BoTown Does Motown and...
Okay.
Before your hour.
Huh?
I'm saying, again, it's good to hear all the different...
The history.
The history and the evolution of...
Yeah. So that, that's where it's all going. But it's nice that you have low budget because that kind of gives you a platform.
Right. It's a form. I mean, Tim's had his label for a long, long time. He was putting out stuff with his partner Glenn and other people in Rosendale. I mean, it was very, very a community label. And the byword, think locally, act globally, or, I mean, when I started working with the label, that's what I most enjoyed. We did, cable stuff earlier. That's what you like. You like it keeping close to home and then spreading it out that way, because everyone out there needs to feel that touch, the human touch. So that's what we're trying to do, and never go beyond your means or your ego, etc. And just work with create really fine music all the time, and that's what we keep doing, right?
Absolutely.